What's going on, guys? I'm Steve. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If it's your first time stopping by the channel, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you won't regret it. You're a returning subscriber as always, guys. Welcome back, and I do appreciate the support. Guys, listen. I want to talk to y'all about a topic, a touchy subject some of you guys may have experienced, and it's domestic violence. This story right here, it's not even a story. It's just a news article that I thought would be interesting to share with my audience, about St. Louis, Missouri in the past year and the amount of domestic violence investigations and calls they had in 2023. The numbers are startling. I want you guys to take a look at this, and then we'll come back and talk about it, because not only is this happening in St. Louis, it's happening in a lot of other places, not just in America, but around the world. And it's something that really needs to be, talked about and rectified, because between men and women, and let me make this statement now. Domestic violence is not just something with men hitting women. Nowadays, it can be vice versa. But this is something that's tearing us apart as people, both as our sexes, causing friction between the sexes, and just tearing up the very fabric of relationships between a man and a woman. So let's take a look at this video and come back and get on it.
Tonight, St. Louis City Police say they need more staff to fully address what some call a state of emergency.
Domestic violence cases accounted for almost 25% of homicides in 2023. And now tonight, Only Four's Melanie Johnson got an inside look at St. Louis City Police's unit that's tackling this silent epidemic.
He went from hitting me on top of my head, you're going with me to try to put me in this trunk. I fought.
Tawana Coleman is telling her story from a safe space.
My family could have been right there looking at me in the graveyard.
She says her boyfriend tried to kill her, shedding tears for the family of another woman who lost her life.
These kids gotta go to a graveyard. These kids gotta look at pictures and videos. That's not fair to them.
Markeisha Williams died in December. The father of her 4 children, Trenton Ivy, confessed to her murder and dumping her body. St. Louis County is still waiting for him to be extradited from Wisconsin, where he was arrested.
Because we're black, we're African American women. They don't care. They don't care until we dead.
Zoe says she's walking in Markeisha's shoes. Right now, she's hiding from her kid's father.
It's not as easy as how you think to just leave someone. You have to straight plan, especially when a person have shot you with guns, have choked you out.
We handle a lot of domestic assaults in the city.
The head of St. Louis City Police Domestic Abuse Response Team tells First Alert 4 39 of the city's homicides last year were due to domestic violence.
They average somewhere between 110 cases a year. Last year we had our domestic violence unit. We investigated 546 domestic assaults. That's just our unit.
Coleman says despite years of violence and her accused abuser facing felony charges, he only received probation.
Justice wasn't served. I cried in the courtroom. And now that he's out on the streets, none of these women are safe.
14,000 domestic violence incidents were reported to St. Louis City Police in 2023. The highest number of cases happened in May and December, with 1,270 reports coming in both months.
Our unit is understaffed, but most of our departments are understaffed.
Lieutenant Thomas Muldrow is asking the mayor and police chief to expand his 5-detective crew.
6 will make our unit fully staffed.
It's a request survivors hope is granted in the name of a St. Louis woman whose life was taken.
It's hard to get away. Some women, they go back and forth because the police don't do everything they should do.
Melanie Johnson, First Alert 4.
All right, guys, that's a young lady's story, and also the story that I did about Markeisha Williams. May she rest in peace. I want to show you this stat. I thought this was amazing. I figured I'd share it with you guys. Check that out. I had no idea that domestic violence, things that are categorized as domestic violence, include, because I thought it was just fighting on somebody. boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, and wife stuff. I didn't know it included, partner violence is what we just talked about. The R word, I hate saying that, and stalking. Stalking counts as domestic violence too. I never knew that. So that was a surprising thing that I myself had learned just by looking at this stat up here. I think that's an interesting stat. Also, getting into this story, the young lady told her side of what happened to her. If you look real close, she ain't had no front teeth. I remember when I was younger, and a lot of dudes had women that they beat up, they would have no front teeth. What type of person are you? Especially a man, being a dominant species, that you would take your hand, ball up your fist, and punch a woman like a man to where you knock her teeth out and expect the relationship to go on smooth sailing and progressing in a positive way. I was always against putting my hands on a woman. And I had some women in my lives that made me want to, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, as men and being the stronger of the species, we know better. See, one thing people forget, we control if there's a relationship or not. A woman controls if she wants to stay in said relationship or not. And if she wants to bow out because she sees red flags in your character, or, you acting a little bit different than you was when you first met her. Some of us wear masks. You take that mask off, it's her right to leave about that door. See, the problem is a lot of men out here and a lot of women out here have mommy and daddy issues. You know what I'm saying? And they have a parasitic nature. Social anxiety, not social anxiety, separation anxiety. And it comes up, and rather than try to, admit that they have attachment issues, they turn it into violence against somebody for control. Now granted, a lot of people go into depression, they drink alcohol and drugs and stuff are involved sometimes that spurs this type of activity, but it's no place. It has no place in the relationship, especially when children are involved. And love is the main thing you're supposed to be growing on. Take a look at this. Remember her? That's Marquisha Williams. That is a pretty woman. You can tell that she got war paint on, but you could tell without that war paint, she pulled her hair back. You know what I mean? She very appealing. She easy on the eyes. Then you look at her boyfriend, right? Trenton Ivy, right? They had 4 children. Think about that. 4 children. This man took her, killed her, driving around in her car up in Wisconsin. Now she over there in the St. Louis area. He dropped her off near Chicago, dumped the body. Then when he gets caught in Wisconsin, after the family and everybody else is frantically looking for her, and he knows this, when he gets arrested, he confesses and says, "Oh, I dumped her body." At first, he didn't say nothing where she was at. People had to go find her. This woman bore 4 human beings out of her womb for you, fool. And you can't even give enough respect. You already said you killed her. You couldn't even say where, out of respect for her family. Who welcomed you? Because if they didn't, you wouldn't have stuck around. And this woman had 4 kids. And that's the one thing I want to talk about. This woman had 4 children, guys. So a lot of times, there are men out here that ain't worth shit. And I'm cussing. They ain't worth shit. But a woman to have a baby by you or see something in you, and hopefully with her leading by example, with her getting herself straight and doing the right thing and showing she's for the kids and stuff, she'll think your dumb ass will catch on. But a lot of people don't. And I'm going to tell you something. This goes for men and women. You hear me on this. If you become an asset to somebody else and you got to lower yourself to where they become a liability to you, they are not the one. You understand what I'm saying? It's simple math. Him and her together, you should be doing twice as better as you are individually. If you got to kowtow yourself down or be passive or submissive to even exist in the same atmosphere of this person or same space as this person, you'll suffer irreparable damage, mentally and physically. There are people that are out here like ticks and they'll live off you if they can control you. And this goes for women too. There are a lot of women out here that got daddy issues. They do. They want a man come off nice as can be. But the fear of loss, whether it's finances or something else, they can't let go and they can't build with you. And that's the big problem we have right now. We have a lot of people out here that are for self, out of fear, for letting a little bit of their vulnerabilities come out and trust somebody when all they want is love and respect. They talk it, but they can't walk it. A lot of this comes from single parenting too. And I'm not blaming the mothers, but I want you to understand something. A lot of people don't see this. If you have a boy that's raised by women, right? And he grows up, a lot of times when he does get married, he'll appreciate the woman, right? But he'll usually marry a woman a lot of times from a single parent household, and the woman sees her mom as the strong one, right? And she'll come up and the mom raised the kids and she'll say, hey, you know, such this and that. They get into a disagreement. First thing out of her mouth is, and a lot of guys heard this, I don't need you to raise this baby. I've seen women talk crazy while a child's still in the womb and chase the man off. I don't need you. My mom raised us just fine. We're off balance when we do stuff like that. And we don't think about our child who needs two people to make them whole, mentally, spiritually, and physically. Coming up, especially a little boy. Little boys need their dad. And the thing that's so heartbroken about Miss Marquisha Williams was the fact that she stuck around. That's a pretty girl. She could have went to anybody and got better than what she got from this man. Now, do I think it was always bad? No. But looking at this scenario, and I don't know this man, but I know this type of situation. Them kids was happy. I guarantee you she was pulling the weight when he was trying to get himself straight, and it was always an excuse. It's a messed up shame. People out here, you know, we can't pick the situation we're born into, but we can, you know, help the situation our children are born into from us learning lessons in life and not wanting the same for our children. And I think that was the situation with her. She stayed with that man. That man, she bore 4 children by you, hoping you would get yourself straight, and you didn't. Dude was insecure, childish. What more can I say? And there's a lot of people out there. They said last year alone, 14,000 domestic violence incidents were reported. That means it's 2 people in a relationship. 28,000 people were in a toxic environment, whether they created the toxicity or had to endure it. And that's only St. Louis alone, just one city out of many. It's a damn shame. I always preach on this channel, you know, men need to be men. We need to stand up. This type of stuff continues to tear a hole in the community between men and women. It does. Because I'm going to tell you something. Trying to date somebody that has just come out of a bad relationship where they were beat, tortured, and stuff like that, that's a hard thing to deal with. A lot of guys know women, and you talk to a woman, and a woman tell you a story, it kind of push you away where you like, oh, okay. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if I want to mess with you because you still need some healing. Nobody's ever the same after getting punched in the face by somebody they love, whether it's a guy or a girl. I've had women in my life where I tried to break off the relationship because they couldn't add anything to me. They were more of a liability. I need more than a pretty face or a nice body. You know, guys like this, and I'm just using, you know, Trenton Ivy as an example, because there are a lot of Trenton Ivies out here. Guys like this, a lot of times they think their manhood solves all the problems when a woman's upset. It's like a lot of people have surface knowledge about relationships, but can't really get deep when it's time to examine the heart. 25% of all homicides in 2023 in St. Louis, Missouri were domestic violence related. Think about that. 25%. That's 25% too much. I'm Stock Market Steve for the Dynamic Reason channel. As always, like, comment, share, and subscribe. See you in the next video. Take care.